Okay, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump had a stroke, and I'm going to make myself late for work explaining it to you, but I think he had a stroke. And quite specifically, I think he had a left hemisphere stroke. And I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything like that, but I did spend several years taking care of my mother after she had a major stroke and suffers from TIAs. So, not an expert, but an expert, you know what I mean? And there are a couple tells. Now, something important to know about strokes is that they're sort of like opposite in how they impact you. So you're seeing drooping on the right side of Donald Trump's face, and if you're paying attention, you're also seeing that his foot is dragging on the right side. Both of those classical symptoms of having a left hemisphere stroke. Now, the different sides of your brain, as you know, control different things. And the left side of your brain, when it's impacted by a stroke, is usually going to impact your speech, your memory, your cognitive function. Okay, so if Donald Trump really did have a stroke on the left side, which I think he did over Labor Day when he disappeared and we all hoped he was dead, right? And he just had a follow-up from that 3 months later, an MRI, standard practice. I've taken my mom to a lot of MRIs, and what they're looking for is extensive damage to the brain, like after the stroke, what has happened, and tracking any progression, and looking for more blood clots to see if there's anything else that could move that could trigger another stroke, either massive or TIAs. It's common for people to have had a stroke to then suffer from TIAs, which are basically mini strokes. It stands for something, but I can never remember what it stands for, but it's a TIA. It's a mini stroke. That's the best way to understand it. So what happens to the left side of the brain is your speech will get bad. Like, so some people will say, oh, he sounds fine. He might sound fine, but you'll notice that the things he's saying are nonsensical because like his brain still has the ability to formulate sentences and say them out loud, but it doesn't have the ability to find words that have the correct meaning and put them together. Another example of this is if you were watching like the NFL like this weekend and Terry Bradshaw was talking, that's an example of speech that sounds like it's fine but actually is nonsense, right? Like his speech pattern, his ability to physically say the words, not impaired. His ability to say anything of meaning and to cognitively process what he's saying, deeply impaired. It's also going to like get in the way of his ability to like process information. That's the biggest impact of this. So like if you give him information, he's not going to be able to process it. If you give him instructions like step by step, like take the bread out of the bag, place it on the table, smear the peanut butter on one side of the bread, he's going to have trouble following step-by-step instructions. That's what that cognitive test he was bragging about was testing. Can you follow these simple instructions? Can you do as you're told? Can your brain process verbal instructions into physical activity? He thought it was very hard. Not a great sign. But this also runs you into the thing where like you're becoming aware of your like speech inabilities and you get frustrated and you get anxiety and you can get depressed. And when already narcissistic and erratic people start getting frustrated with their obvious physical decline, well, that's gonna be fun.